We'll get some valuable fishing tips from the pros next on Missouri Outdoors. Hi, and welcome to Missouri Outdoors. I'm Kip Woods. This week we're in southwest Missouri, where we'll be fishing for bass on two of the most scenic lakes in the state, Bull Shoals and Table Rock. And we'll be fishing with some folks who really know these waters.
There he is. Big fish here. Big fish.
We'll tag along with local fishing guides and professional anglers Mike Webb, Tim Sainato, and Brian Snowden. They'll provide valuable tips while fishing these waters.
A lot of folks like to throw this.
From lures to locations,
got the bait fish laying right on bottom,
to techniques. And we've got plenty of fishing action
There he is.
along the way. To top things off, we'll also spend time with two of the top names in the fishing world.
Rick Clunn. Stacie King.
There's one. There he is.
Oh, look at that.
Gotcha. Look at that, baby.
Look at Stacie go. Ladies and gentlemen, a new leader, Stacie King. Taking the lead.
There's a Table Rock goggle eye right there. I tell you what, they are such neat fish.
For over 20 years, both Stacie King and Rick Clunn have been highly successful in the sport of bass fishing,
Those are such incredible fish.
competing and winning professional bass tournaments throughout the country.
My pro career, it's been the vehicle that has allowed me to fulfill my dream, which I've always had to do something in the outdoors. We all search for something to make us more alive, and fishing has done that for me. I've gotten to do what I've most loved to do for 30 years.
There's one. Got that one.
I'm most fortunate in the fact that I can be outside doing what I love to do, meeting people, and just fishing all the time. And my favorite lake is still this one right here. Lots of great fishing all over the country, but I always miss getting back to the Ozarks and fishing Table Rock Lake. It's such a diverse lake, so beautiful here, and just really enjoy my home water.
Bull Shoals and Table Rock Lakes are among the most popular fishing destinations in the Midwest. Located in southwest Missouri near Branson, both enjoy national reputations for excellent black bass fishing.
Lake's got all species in it, not just largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass. It's got white bass and all kinds of catfish, bluegill, great crappie. Our crappie population in this lake has exploded the last couple years. It's better than it's been a long time. And so there's lots of opportunities to catch fish here on Table Rock, and I try to get out and enjoy it every chance I get.
Another little guy. That's a little spot. That's one of the neatest things about this Ozarks Lakes. It's just that you never know if from cast to cast if you're going to catch a spotted bass or a largemouth or or a smallmouth. And there's not too many lakes you can say that about throughout this country, and I've been lucky enough to fish a lot of them.
There he is, guys.
Come up and jump for us. Not too big, but a fighter. Another spotted bass. Oh, it got off. Quick release. Those spotted bass are fighters. I'll tell you, I love to catch those things. One day I'll tell you I love largemouth the best, the next day it'll be smallmouth, and now it's spotted bass.
Like most large reservoirs, fishing Bull Shoals and Table Rock can be challenging at times. Weather and water conditions can influence fishing success. Knowing when and where to fish are also important.
In the relatively clear waters of Bull Shoals and Table Rock Lakes, fish can be found in a variety of water depths. So depending on the time of year, you'll want to make sure not to concentrate all your efforts along the banks.
The only time they're really heavy on the banks here is in the springtime. And then occasionally in the fall, a few fish will move back in on the banks again when the weather cools off. But the rest of the year, the biggest part of the fish in this lake are not on the banks. So people have a misconception. They come here and they see a beautiful timbered bank, they think they can catch bass off of it. And really most of the year you can't do that. You've got to back out on the points and use your electronics, find the bait fish, and fish the techniques that it takes to catch them out in the deeper water.
I think the hardest part about fishing these lakes is the clarity of the water. The clearer a water is, no matter where you're fishing, the harder the fish are to catch.
People just have a natural tendency to want to fish the shoreline. And really on these clear water Ozark streams, a lot of times you have to get away from the bank to catch fish.
And usually once you find the depth that the fish are in, they'll be in that area throughout the lake. You know, if they're in 30 feet of water, they're going to be in 30 feet of water in the majority of the lake. So once they find where they start getting a few bites, they can just repeat that process on different points.
So that kind of makes the lake fish a little smaller for you, because you come out here and you're looking at all this water. There's 45,000 acres of water out here. It's intimidating for a lot of people. But if you just do a little bit of homework before you come out here, you can really, narrow it down to where you need to fish.
So we fish a lot of deep water. We fish a lot of trees that are way underwater. A lot of points that go way out, like we're doing right here. We're fishing 35 foot deep. We're probably, I don't know, 300 or 400 yards off the bank. Here comes a fish right there. There's about 5 of them there now. They're just surrounding my bait. There he is. Good job. Coming up fast. Oh, that's a nice fish right there. Boy, that's a sound I love right there, the taking line. Boy, that's a nice spotted bass right there. Nice. Come here. Oh, that's a nice one.
Oh, nice fish.
That's a nice fish. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Oh, look how pretty that fish is.
Bluffs with and without standing timber are also productive areas. Also be on the lookout for bass surfacing and feeding on shad.
This is one of the things I would tell people that come down here to look for that are new to the area, is the bluffs where they fade into shallow water like this. We're sitting in 32 foot of water, a half a cast from the bank. And we get up here, this just shallows right out. I would just stay on this ridge and take it out in the middle slowly and just fish this ridge at it, all the way out and around. That's where the fish, they stay out in the deeper water for to hide and stuff, and then they come up on the flats and feed as the shad come over. And they've got everything they need right in here.
If you don't like fishing deep, there's guys like that. I'm one, I really prefer fishing shallow. And you have to learn how to overcome the clear water. Wind is your biggest friend in clear water lakes if you want to fish shallow. I want to fish in the wind. It tends to bring the fish up. It tends to make them less tentative about hitting artificials in that clear water. So that's one approach. The other approach is actually to run and find the little bit of off-color water that might exist even in these clear water lakes like Bull Shoals or Table Rock. And that's usually up the tributaries.
I typically say March is the best month down here for catching big bass, and April is probably a better month for catching numbers of bass, plus some big ones.
Mid-April through May would be the all-time best for just catching nice quality fish.
I like to fish in December. The fish are feeding heavy for the winter, and I like April, May, and June.
Best time of year, I'd say, for smallmouth on Table Rock, Bull Shoals, when our spring usually hits in April. The best month overall, I would say, would be May.
You know, the new anglers that are bass fishing need to not get discouraged, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience out there on the water just to learn different situations on how the fish react, say when a thunderstorm comes through, or when it starts changing temperature and they become a little more aggressive and move shallow, and how they move out deep in the summertime. So it takes some time to learn all that, because you have to go through the seasons and follow the migration of the fish as the seasons change.
If catching fish is a crucial part of your enjoyment in the summer months on these lakes, from a fishing standpoint, that's probably going to be your toughest challenge. It'll be in the summer months. That's when I would highly recommend hiring a guide.
To me, it's money well spent, a good investment to hire a guide and get out and spend a day with them.
Especially if you're taking kids out, your family out, and they want to catch fish.
They can teach you something and show you something that'll be valuable to you the rest of your trip, and you may pick up tips that'll help you for years to come.
It eliminates all the hassles of not catching fish, having people complain, the family gets bored with it because you don't get any bites. So it really eliminates a lot of that because you're already out with someone that knows where the fish are and can show you, just a few tricks to catching them.
And then after that, you've almost got to have a boat to fish on this lake as big as it is. You can walk the bank and catch a few fish at times of the year when they're bass up shallow, during the pre-spawn and spawning times. But most of the year on this lake, you've got to be able to get out in a boat and move around and fish the offshore places. So if you'll hire a guide and get out and learn a little bit about the water, then the rest of the week you can go out on your own and hopefully duplicate what you did the day you were with a guide.
I would get a local guide. If you know some local anglers, talk to them. And then, if you're not fishing with a guide, I'd say ask them about the parts of the lake that best represent your style of fishing. If you're a shallow water fisherman, you're an off-color water fisherman, just simply say what areas of the lake hold a little bit of off-color water. And then go fish what you're best at. Don't try to go fish 50 foot deep unless you're in a learning mode, which is fine. But if you're not in a learning mode and you really just want to go enjoy and you want to try to catch a few fish, then go match the areas of the lake to your style of fishing. And that's where the local help comes in. That eliminates a lot of water for you very fast. That smell is probably one of my favorite smells of all. The smell of a largemouth bass.
But I got him. That's a smallmouth. Pretty little smallmouth. There he is. Got that one.
Wow. See, that is a nice, healthy Kentucky bass.
Here he comes. Taking some drag, isn't he?
Another nice smallmouth.
It's a nice spotted bass right there.
We fished it for about an hour and a half this morning, and we've caught several spotted bass, several largemouth, and now the trifecta here, the smallmouth. Those are such incredible fish.
Or hurt you, there's one. Got that one. He's not too big, but I've got him. Oh, he come off. That was a spotted bass there.
Came right out of that little stick up.
What do you got there?
That's a Kentucky. The easiest way to tell that this is a Kentucky is he has a rough patch on his tongue. You can rub your index finger over his tongue and feel it's a little rough. Another way to tell is his lower jaw does not extend past his eye. A largemouth, the lower jaw, when closed, would extend past his eye. And then they also have a little different coloration than a largemouth.
There he is.
All right. Whoa. Holy moly. Come here. Come here. Good fish. There we go. Pretty fish. This is a pretty average spotted bass here. He's probably 14 inches. On most Missouri lakes, this would be a keeper. Table Rock, however, is a 15-inch limit on all bass. Bull shoals on Kentuckys and spotted bass are, I think it's 12. And the way these Kentuckys school up, you can go 3 or 4 hours without a bite and then catch 5 or 6 in 30 minutes.
There he is.
The little one. That's a small one there, but he's fun. Come here. I'll let you go. I'll put you right back in there. That right there is a good sign, though, for the few years down the road. We're gonna have more fish to catch. Look how healthy that fish looks. Great.
Another nice smallmouth. Caught that in the same tree I caught that other one in a while ago. Be still. Be still. I'm gonna release her back. Pretty smallmouth. There are jillions of them in here that size. That means we're gonna have a great fishery here for years to come. Smallmouths are such wonderful fighters and just such beautiful fish. I love to catch smallmouth. I love to catch largemouth Kentuckys too, but the smallmouth is probably my favorite.
We moved here in 1969 to Missouri, right here on Table Rock, and I've been fishing it ever since. And I love this area here. It's just that, you know, I've fished here for this long. This lake just keeps getting better. There's a lot of fishing pressure here, but it's just, I catch a lot of fish here. It's a great lake, it really is. Bull Shoals is another lake that has really come on for smallmouth fishing in Missouri. It's, every year it just keeps getting better and better and better down there, and bigger fish.
There are a lot of basic lures that will catch fish on this lake. Jigs and plastic worms are tremendous lures here year-round. But I always suggest, you know, like in the warm weather months, if you're coming here and you just want to have some fun, if you got a couple of kids, you want to get some bites, buy night crawlers and crickets. I mean, the spotted bass will always bite those night crawlers and catch big bluegill on crickets and night crawlers, catfish.
Smallmouth. That's what I'm talking about. That's a big shad coming out of his throat right there. I just caught that fish on a jig, so he thought that was a crawfish. But he just ate a shad probably just seconds before he ate my jig. So that fish is definitely up there feeding. You can see the belly on him, he's just loaded. These fish are healthy. This lake's got a lot of crayfish and a lot of shad in them. That's just a really nice smallmouth right there. The two things that, like I said, these fish feed on is shad and crayfish, and just try to keep it natural. Get the baits that imitate a crayfish. When you're fishing deep, the jig is the best. They hit this jig right here because it's so big and it makes so much noise going through those rocks, and it kicks up a lot of silt, and it looks like a big crayfish. This lake's got some 4 and 5 inch crayfish in it, and that's what you're imitating right here. And what it does is actually aggravates those fish. They'll even bite it when they're not hungry.
Oh, there he is. That's what I always tell people when they ask me about rods and reels. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy the most expensive stuff, but get something that feels good to you in your hands. Just get some good quality line. You know, line's an important thing. It's the most important element between you and the fish. Get good line, and then, you know, start off with a few basic lures. And, you know, if you're going to come to Table Rock, for instance, try to research a little bit. Get on the internet, look up some of the websites that have some information about what the fishery is at that particular time of the year, whenever you're coming, so you'll know what to go out and pick up, you know, or whether it might be a live bait situation. And if you're going to hire a guide, or if you go to the bait shops, you can get that information from them. So you don't need to spend a lot of excess money just to come down for a nice fishing trip on the lake. Just get a rod and reel that feels good to you with good line on it, and do a little research, and you'll find out if you need to pick up a few lures or just get some live bait or whatever.
I like the top water and the clear water. It allows me to make very long casts, which you need sometimes to do in clear water to get away from the boat. Anytime we're dealing with shallow water, you're going to fall into those same time frames that we keep mentioning again. Mid-spring with the top water to early summer, and then again late summer all the way through the fall. For the average angler, one strike on a topwater is worth 5 on any other bait, and that's another beauty of a topwater is You don't have to get 100 strikes to have a good day. If I can fish and get 5 strikes all day, then it's been a great day.
Fishing the lakes of Bull Shoals and Table Rock will be a challenge, no matter if you're a beginner or a pro. But anglers that take the time to learn about these waters, the habits of the fish, and master some basic techniques will more often than not find success.
With the bass populations these two lakes offer, anglers can expect good fishing for several years to come. So if you get a chance, why not give Bull Shoals and Table Rock a try? You might be pleasantly surprised. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.